stages and flashing lights, music and cameras. They call it the good life.
It's the beginning of a new and excitingly different story.
I know our time is precious, so I'm hoping.
I saw the some media footage and some interviews that you were doing, and I read that you were planning to be out there, like you said, for a couple months.
Yeah.
It turned into a year or two, and then you're
4.
saying it's 4 years.
Yeah, 4.
One of the quotes.
Presidential term, but I think I know which quote you're gonna use too.
Yeah,
this is a favorite.
We have this connection already. I know.
Yeah.
So
go for it. I'm gonna let you say it.
The Justin Bieber of Hong Kong.
Yes.
That's interesting for us too, because we got the Canadian connection. I mean, he's not from Toronto, but it's close.
You know what's my favorite Justin Bieber song? I go way back with Jay-Z.
Okay.
One time, the one where Usher's like, "I'm gonna leave you my house. You better not have no house party."
Yeah,
and then what does he do when Usher leaves?
Obviously,
he has a house party, right?
Yeah.
I would have did the same thing. But the point is, number one, that quote and everything I said during that interview and post that interview and right now is never, was at no point a shot at Justin.
No,
right?
of course not.
But the clarification was, obviously that was the choice phrase to take out of that whole interview because it's the most captivating.
Absolutely.
What? Jin calling himself the Justin Bieber of Hong Kong?
Let me watch this. Let me watch this right there.
That's the fortunate part if people watch it. The unfortunate if they just see the title and they're like, man, get the heck out of here with that Jin, and they just move on. But I'm glad in a sense that was the title used, because if it does pull people in to watch that clip, that particular 4 or 5 minute clip, the main thing I was trying to convey with that statement, the meat of it, is actually what I said right after, which I'm glad that was a Vlad interview, which I'm glad he left in. And, so I thank him for that, because he could have just cut it to where I'm like, I was like Justin Bieber of Hong Kong, and then transition into another topic, right? And people watching be like, what? But he let me make the ultimate point that I was trying to make right after, which was what I was trying to convey with that statement is that I was doing good out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
In our terminology, in terms of like the choice word would be, I was popping out there. Between the TV stuff, between the film stuff, endorsement deals, dropping albums, it was very productive and fruitful. But the main point I was making in that interview, and that I'm going to reiterate right now is, I know for a fact it wasn't my own doing. I know it wasn't because I was extra dope. I know it wasn't because I was extra good looking and whatever. Like, because a big thing that happened during my time out in Hong Kong was coming into my faith in a way like never before. Coming into my faith like never before. And one component of that coming into my faith is totally related to this. Is this acknowledging of, I can put all my effort, all my blood, sweat, and tears into things, but the ultimate outcome is beyond my control. So when I look at those 4 years in Hong Kong, where I am the Justin Bieber, the biggest thing I take away is that it was not my doing. I busted my butt. Every opportunity that I got, I made the most of it. I cherished it. But in terms of the outcome, the favor that I was shown, just like one movie after another, one endorsement deal followed by another. I'm on the bus and I'm on the billboard. You know what I mean? I just know it was God working in a very generous way.
Which is, sorry to cut you off, but which is a great thing. It's like to see you come almost full circle. The new album, 1459. Tell us about that. It's a different look, obviously. Needless to say, from the Ruff Ryders album, it's a completely different look. So, I mean, describe the album to those who haven't heard it yet.
A good way to kind of like put it right next to The Rest is History is, whereas The Rest is History is saying, I'm MC Jin. I'm the greatest thing you'll ever see. The world is mine. Whereas that's what The Rest is History is ultimately conveying. 1459 is saying, dang, this might be it all coming to an end.
Right.
And if this is it all coming to an end, this final second, 1459 is me exploring the idea of, the 15 minutes of fame.
Gotcha, yeah.
I'm down to my last second. So it's conceptual in that sense, and there's a very heavy story element to the whole album. But in contrast to The Rest is History, what 1459 is ultimately conveying is, if there's only 1 second left, not only am I going to make the most of it, but, man, I'm somewhat glad that it's coming to an end. Because I think for the longest time, the biggest burden on my shoulder was this kind of this struggle with the idea of, yo, I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the last thing I say on the album is actually, it's not even a rhyme. It's kind of like just, I'm talking in the outro, and I'm recapping and reliving what it was like when I signed with Ruff Ryders,
right.
sitting on the subway with that check, right?
Yeah.
Just staring at it like, yo, I've made it.
Yeah.
And then to go through all the ups and downs of my career and feeling like my career is about to come to an end,
yeah.
and God really saying or showing me, you think it's coming to an end, but this is really just the beginning. And it may not be what you expected it to be, but I promise you that it will be more. I promise you it'll be more fulfilling than what you wanted it to be, and it has proven to be that, right? Because whereas once upon a time I looked at fulfillment in the places of record sales, in the places of how much demand am I in by the game and by the industry, these days the fulfillment definitely comes from another direction or another place, you know, and it's really just, you know, constantly seeking more intimacy with the Lord and learning how to cherish the platforms that He continues to bless me with, whether it's a platform of a larger scale or it's a small platform. You know what I mean? Like when I've been doing a lot of these meet and greets, like these kind of informal, impromptu meet and greets, where I'll just tweet, yo, I'm gonna be at Starbucks on whatever street from 3 to 5, and then, you know, whoever comes. And I mention that only because part of, you know, what I've been learning from that is, yo, whether it's one person that shows up or 25 people that show up, it's the same heart. Right? It's the same, yo, it might even be doper if only one person shows up, because that means, yo, I get to just really kick it with this one person for an hour, and you know, but if 25 people show up, then hey, well, thank you. Right? I mean, I didn't even think one would show up, and here you have 25 coming, and it's that full belief that, you know, whatever God's plan is for me, and that's one small example of the big picture, but it's this full belief that whatever God has in store for me is definitely better than whatever I want to happen. And that alone can carry you so far, you know, especially like as I'm growing in the area of marriage and fatherhood. Right. And I've been married like 3 years now, and we have a 2-year-old. So those two elements, those two elements alone are the greatest examples of the thing I'm describing, which is whatever He, you know, has in store for me is greater than what I want.
What you have planned.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what you're saying is incredible, because the transformation and a lot of things you're saying can be applied to my life and to a lot of people out there. They can definitely look at it on, might not be the same type of publicized grand scale as yours, but I mean, you take the life lessons where you lose some, but you lose to gain some more. So I mean, we definitely appreciate you.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man, and just all the best to you, the brothers, and the rest of the team, and whatever you guys you know, have planned for this year.
I had no idea.
Of course I am. When do I ever tell the truth?
You know, why didn't you tell him that up front?
Happy New Year.
Everything he said was just
How you doing, T? Good to see you. Of course. Of course.
Like all of them Freestyle Fridays was all me. I was feeding them to him on text.
Yep. And he wrote the first single.
I wasn't supposed to tell y'all that, but
I'm still trying to forgive him for that one.
And I present to you 1459.